Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds. It's Anita, the Crazy Geek Crafter, and this is my first Yuletide card installment of the Yuletide card series. And I have been looking forward to using these birds. When I saw them come out from Marianne Design, I fell in love. I love and yeah, I'm afraid to say this on YouTube because it might be picked up by some robot. It's called a blue tit, Eurasian blue tit actually. And it has these beautiful green and blue colors. It's my favorite bird. Have to say, there are pretty parrots and everything, but that one that's home. It is so pretty. So that's what I'm gonna make today. At least my version of it. And first I have to take care of some practical things. And I picked this trick from my missies, where they had printed out where everything should go on the paper. So I copied that and put it on top so that I could find out where all the dice went. Here I'm also labeling what things are, so it's hopefully easier for me to find the right parts. I don't know if there's an actual technical term for it, but I'm what I call right-left blind. I can't figure out left and right for the yeah, nothing can help me there. You have maybe noticed that I actually never use the words left and right on screen. That's because I mess them up constantly. So I named one bird right and one name left. I think it's right what I wrote where the birds are, but on the paper I actually think I wrote them, gave them the wrong designations, so they're backwards. All the parts named right fit together. Those are the ones I'm coloring red here, hopefully. That's the ones. But since the dice are stored upside down, I forgot to think about that. So that's why I'm pretty sure I did it backwards. But the purple one here is for the other bird, and everything I don't color is interchangeable with the two birds. Or not a bird at all. Could be a branch, could be berries. Or the scarf is also interchangeable. So that's why I colored in the pieces that actually matter for that. I can't really see the coloring once I put the pieces on top, but it makes it easier for me to put them back on, I hope. So, but I coded everything in my own way, and I think that's going to make my life easier. I did, during this process, notice that the open beaks actually has a left and a right. You can't just substitute those unless you don't care about the lines in the cardstock. I don't like to use dice upside down. I don't like the way they look. So that's why I love this set, because it has double of everything I need to make one or the other side. So now I'm ready to start planning out my birds, and I'm going to make 4 cards. So I'm just gonna pick up the parts that I need, some eyes, some beaks, because I want the one that's singing. I need a branch for it to sit on. And off camera I have already taken my cardstock to the table, so I'm ready with that. Wings, decorations for the wings, the body, the head part, and the eye coloring, and I'm sorting them by color now. I'll be putting them on cardstock before cutting them so you can see. And I want white berries because the paper pad I'm using is primarily blue and not so much red. So I figured it'd be better to use white berries, that, and I didn't want to get up and get red cardstock. Yeah, I'm that lazy. I had already gotten up to get all the other colors and I didn't think about the berries. So that's just going to be white, and I think it turned out really nice anyway. Fits very well with the pattern paper I'm going to use for the background. So now I sorted that all out. Here's the pattern paper. And here are the other pieces I'm going to need for the background. I just picked them out so I had them ready for when I got to that part. I have sped up a lot of the die cutting in this video because otherwise this would be more than half an hour long. It already is almost half an hour long, so I hope you don't get confused or seasick or anything from me speeding things up, but otherwise we would be here all day. before I can start assembling, I need to change out the top of my glue bottle. It's completely clogged after I've been working on other projects, and I just figured I'd just fill it up. Also, now that I had the top off, I'm gonna keep the other top. I know it's stuffed, but that is the easiest way to keep the pin in case this one breaks. I have had quite a few problems with the tiny ball falling off. I know you can buy replacements, but I had one that already worked, so I better just keep it. So now I'm just figuring out which part goes where and making sure they're all turned the right way around, then I can start gluing things. Now the yellow I'm using, that looks very reddish yellow on camera. It's more pale yellow in reality. Than that is really close to flesh tone, Caucasian flesh tone, that is. That's not supposed to be that way, but in reality it's more yellow, and it should actually be a greenish yellow. I looked up some pictures after this because I had to find out what this bird was even called in English. And I really do hope that YouTube don't catch that one. I have heard people have problems with the weirdest word because they sound like something else. Yeah. This will be interesting. Yeah. Well, this is the first bird, so everything is a bit... I'm testing out how I best do it, and here I've glued on the wing before I put on the decorations, and I figure after this that it'll be easier to do with the wing detached. So that's what I learned from the first bird, and also the putting on the tail is not that easy because you easily get glue all over the place. I only cut 3 little berries from my branch, but I think that'll be fine. I'm not going to glue the bird to the branch yet because I want to see it on the card first. But that's the first one done, and let's just finish the other 3. I did need to sleep on that though. Onto the backgrounds, I'm going to have to pick out 4 pattern papers that I like. I try to find something that makes the bird stand out, but is still within my preferred color range. I do like dark colors, so that's where I gravitate. Dark blue is just the best blue in my opinion. And that one I was unsure which side I would use because there was a lot of red on that one. That's up now. Let's see, what's the other one I pick? That one. That one will not be with that side facing up. I actually picked mostly muted patterns, like this. But the darker ones are a bit of a problem with the bird because it has a dark head and dark tail. So it kind of disappears, and especially the beak does. So I have to try and rectify it. And I picked out a cardstock for the other background piece. I wanted to frame up the birds, and I figured if I cut out this wood grain, I'd cut a hole in it, and then I could use the hole for one card and the frame for the other card, and that would all make sense. Unfortunately, this really dark cardstock was not helping me at all, especially with the beak problem, that the beak is black, and here it completely disappears into the brown. I can tell you that, spoiler alert. You've seen the thumbnail, so you know that I had to change up a few things. This is the first time I'm using this wood grain plate, and I love it. I really do. I will be using it more for Christmas, that's for sure. And other things, of course, but especially for Christmas. And the pieces I don't use on this card, I will save them to make other cards. I need to do 20-something cards, and this is only 4. I have to be finished by the 1st of December. That's my preferred deadline for sending out cards, so I'm a bit stressed about it. But I also have my advent calendar. It also has to be finished by the 1st of December. I was also supposed to do some editing of, or not editing, what is it called? I bought these stockings and I wanted to embellish them. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure I'll get to do that in time for the 1st of Advent. This part should be pretty self-explanatory. I have card bases, I fold them, and then I glue on the pattern papers. I prefer to put them in my scoreboard and use that to fold them straight. Sometimes the score line is not completely right on these, so I hold both sides up in the corner to force it into submission. When I glue on the pattern paper, I put the side I want glue on up. Then I put glue on my card here, all the way to the edges. That's very important. And then I do like this. I keep the bottom fold on the table so that that side will be straight and I don't have to try and cut it off. Because if you cut a few millimeters or even half a millimeter off the back of the card, then the back side falls off. So that's why I prefer to cut the other sides. Don't matter as much if you are not precise. The glue I'm using is a solvent glue, and it has a chemical reaction that does the binding to the paper. It's really strong, and it doesn't warp the paper as much if you are not too excessive with the amount of glue, of course. Now I'm leaving them to dry under this here. My my sidekick. Die cut machine is the heaviest object on my table, I think, so that's why I often use that one. I'm cutting the pattern papers to size, and I'm doing the dry fitting thing. I always do this, and this is, you can see how the beak completely disappears here on this bird. And it's like that in reality as well. This one is not as bad. But I always do the dry fitting because once you glue something down, you just can't go back. So I prefer to see it assembled, if you can say that. And you can see here the other color I tried out. The beak is still disappearing in my opinion, so I figured I'll make them all the same and then keep the double frame part for another card set. Maybe with some birds. Maybe it'll be a different kind of bird. Here are the sentiments I'm gonna use this year. I'm gonna use the same sentiment on all my cards. It says thank you, thanks for the year that's passed, and best wishes for the new year. And since I'm not a Christian, the Merry Christmas and everything, and I have trouble using it. I love this tradition of sending our cards at year's end. You know, what happened in our lives this year, and we appreciate you being in our lives and all that, but it doesn't have to have anything to do with Christianity at all. I think every culture that's been as far north as I'm living has had some kind of celebration for the dark times of the year. It's what gets us through, and yeah, it's not even bad here. If you're in the north of Norway, for instance, then there are some settlements that has, well, what is it called? It's called something specific. Well, they have night all day, 24 hours. And especially there, I get the need for the candles and the lights outside, and trying to make something cozy out of something that can be dark and scary. And that's what Christmas is to me. It is a time for enjoying the darkness and not seeing it as a bad thing. And it's not even the coldest part of the year here. December is only the first month of winter, so January and February are pretty awful when it comes to the cold and snow and icy rain. Yeah, I'm not much of a cold person. I like warmth in my life. So yeah. So, but that's the story behind me picking a set of sentiments for every single card this year. No matter what is on the card. This bird isn't particularly Christmas, but I may make some with the Christmas ornaments and things, and then it still fits my greeting. I still put up my Christmas tree. It's a weird tradition and I love it. Mine is faux, mostly because I find Christmas trees to be really expensive, and then all the needles fall off, and I'm uncertain whether my dogs would understand me bringing a real tree into the house. I have never had any of them pee on the faux tree, so I'm hopefully safe there. This will be Jaina's second Christmas, and last time she was so tiny that I don't think she had much understanding of what was going on anyway. We picked her up right before the 1st of December. I think it was the 29th of November or something. And yeah, it was a hard month. I only just emptied the last Christmas box before December the 24th, and then on the 27th I had to start taking everything down again. That's a personal rule of mine. I take down all my Christmas decorations before I put up for the new year. And I have a lot of glittery stuff for the new year as well, so that's why I don't want to entangle the two events. Yeah. Now I've just been talking about random stuff. I'm sorry. If I missed telling you about something that was important, you must tell me in the comments. I didn't mean to babble on about things like that. And assembly is almost done with this last bird. And the sentiment, I did break one of the sentiments because I put the wrong size of tape on it, but yeah, I have to live with that. It's a bit sad that it cracked the laser coloring, but that's what happens. I put some stickles on the berries for some glitter. I didn't want to do too much. I have a few on my list that are not particularly Christmas oriented, so they can get one of these cards maybe. But that was the first 4 cards. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week for another one. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening, or night.